Tonight, we have a deal.
It took us into overtime, but we ended up with a better bill.
Texas House and Senate leaders come to an agreement on property tax relief, what the new plan will mean for Texas property owners. Plus, a controversial buoy barrier in the Rio Grande, why Governor Greg Abbott's latest border security tactic is now facing legal action. And later,
my name is Roland Gutierrez, proud Texan, and I'm running for United States Senate.
Another Democrat enters the race to try to unseat Ted Cruz. State lawmaker Roland Gutierrez joins us to discuss his campaign. Capitol Tonight starts right now. Thanks for joining us here on Capitol Tonight. I'm Karina Kling. Texans could soon see some property tax relief. After a months-long standoff between the Texas House and Senate, top Republican leaders finally struck an agreement on how to cut property taxes. It's an $18 billion plan that includes relief for homeowners and businesses. Our Charlotte Scott reports.
Finally, the leaders of both the Texas House and Senate ironed out a deal on property tax relief. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who leads the Senate, and House Speaker Dave Phelan spoke in person about the legislation last week.
Is there a deal?
It's always a deal.
And after a months-long stalemate, the plan includes what both chambers wanted. It puts more than $12 billion toward reducing the school property tax rate for homeowners and business properties, which is what the House and Governor Greg Abbott pushed for. In a statement, Speaker Phelan said in part, quote, "By coming together and finding common ground, the House and Senate are one step closer to providing much needed, much deserved relief." The plan also raises the homestead exemption to $100,000, which is the amount of a home's value that cannot be taxed. That was a non-negotiable for Lieutenant Governor Patrick. It will also provide relief for small businesses. In a statement, Patrick said in part, quote, "It may have taken overtime, but the process has produced a great bill for homeowners and businesses."
There is a negative effect overall in the sense that this was something that the leadership should have resolved during the regular session, and it shouldn't have taken two special sessions to get here. But all is going to be, I think the attitude now among Republicans and the general population is, all is well and good now that it's been actually accomplished.
That is my understanding, yes.
2 weeks ago, Senator Roland Gutierrez successfully added an amendment to the Senate's property tax relief bill to give teachers a bonus. That's not included in the new agreed-upon plan, but the legislature is set to meet again later this year to pass education-related bills. The chambers are expected to pass the package later this week, and the governor says he'll sign the bill when it reaches his desk. For Capitol Tonight, I'm Charlotte Scott.
And joining us now to discuss this deal further is Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Lieutenant Governor, welcome back to the program. Nice to see you.
It's a great day. Good to be with you. Great day for taxpayers.
Well, there you go. I mean, how happy are you with this deal? Both sides getting a little bit of what they wanted.
Well, I'm very pleased. We wanted a $100,000 homestead exemption for all 5.7 million homeowners who homestead their property. That will give them, Karina, about a 41% cut in their school taxes beginning this year once they approve it in November. And it means about a $1,250 to a $1,450 tax savings every year to them with that homestead exemption. And that will be permanent for the life of their home as long as they homestead it. That means, Karina, for the average family that lives in a home for 25 years, that's a $25,000 plus savings to them over that time. That helps to pay for college, a great vacation, for retirement, for whatever they want to do with the money. But we said we would give the lion's share of the surplus to property tax cuts, which we are doing, and the homeowners will do well. And also under the plan, because it's a combination, about 70-30 split of compression with the homestead exemption, which is kind of where we were in March, is that all businesses will also benefit from it. So the average business property will get about a 23% cut in their school taxes with the compression.
Well, why did it take so long to get this to get to this point? I mean, you mentioned, that you were kind of at this back in March. What made the difference this time around?
The truth is, Karina, we did a lot of big things this session. I mean, if you look at the session from creating a new college fund called the Tough Fund with $3 billion, putting $1 billion into parks and wildlife to buy land, $2.5 billion for new mental care hospitals, more money into healthcare and education, and go down a long list of major things that we did. It took a lot of time because, normally we don't have a lot of extra money and it's just policy, but when you have a lot of extra money, a lot of people have a lot of ideas. And then when it came to the property tax issue, when you're looking at spending $18 billion in a property tax cut at one time, which I think, Karina, is probably a world record because most countries don't have that kind of money to put towards a tax cut, and surely no other state, is that there were lots of different ideas. And at the end of the day, it took us into overtime, but we ended up with a better bill, I think, overall.
Well, Lieutenant Governor, you have been critical of the governor and the speaker wanting to do all of what is called compression. You mentioned that the governor saying it would eventually put the state on a path toward eliminating the school and maintenance and operations tax. Do you still think that's a realistic goal?
To eliminate all the property taxes based just on next year would take more money than we even collect at the state. So it's a great goal to get rid of property taxes, but realistically, over time, it would be very difficult. But the goal should be to continue cutting property taxes and cut them as much as we can. But to eliminate all property taxes would be next to impossible. Now, to eliminate all school property taxes is still a daunting task. It would take almost 30% or more of our total budget to do that. And it would be hard to do that. But our goal is to cut the property taxes as much as we possibly can. And this year, again, we're going to cut your school taxes 43.5%. So that's a really good start with the homestead exemption and the compression.
Les, I do have to ask you because there has been some criticism about the fact that this was Republican leadership infighting over all of this. What about the relationships between the so-called Big Three, the governor, and the speaker?
Karina, why are you asking these questions on a great day? The speaker and I came together, and that's part of politics. It's part of the process. There are 150 House members. They had their own ideas. There are 31 senators, had their own ideas. And it's a big project, the biggest in history. So the fact that it took us a little extra time to get together, and look, along the way we had a lot of fun with a lot of some of the going back and forth, and we all had some good laughs on some things from the House and from the Senate. So at the end of the day, we came together. The speaker and I worked very well together this last week. I said, if the speaker and I will sit down face to face, I think we can get this done in 30 days. In 30 minutes. And some people say, well, why did you meet before? Well, we had met before, but there were a lot of other people, with their thoughts in this. And at the end of the day, you take time to work through and get the best ideas, jettison the bad ideas, and go forward. And that's what we did.
The Twitter war may be over, at least for now. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, congratulations on this deal. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Karina.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. And for more refreshing stories about your community, click the subscribe button right over here. You can also download our Spectrum News app to get live news coverage, weather alerts, and more wherever you are. And don't forget to tune in to Channel 55 on Dish and DirecTV for live local reporting every single day. We'll see you then.